you guys for coming. Huge congratulations to Buffalo. That is as scary of a game to prepare for as I have ever had in my entire life, just because they are super talented and incredibly well coached in all three phases. I lost sleep all week, worried about the special teams game because I know how good of a job Coach Lembo does in that. And then you saw in the whole second quarter, I mean, they pinned us down there and bled us out and choked us almost to death. But luckily, we had an incredible defensive performance today. I cannot say enough good things about our players, led by our senior leaders you saw on defense today. Those guys show up over and over again, and Sean Cronin and his defensive staff did an unbelievable job. So, and then we were able to hang around and battle, and like I said, kind of survive the position battle war there in the second quarter, and then make play after play after play on defense. So to get them out of there with a win is incredibly fortunate. And man, what a great environment. I mean, Maction was my first ever one of those. That was a blast. We broke out the gold pants for the first time, which is a big deal. And we had great fan support, and our kids just had so much fun. So just a ton of credit to Buffalo. That's a good football team right there. So, any questions?
Coach, what's it mean for you and the team to clinch its first bowl game since 2021? Your first bowl game with the team in your first year?
Man, I'm so incredibly happy for the team. It's a makeup of a couple different things. So we have an unbelievable senior class that, when we got here, I basically told them that this is going to be the hardest experience of their entire life, and that's not usually what a lot of people want to hear when you first walk in the door. And all of the changes and sacrifices without any room for error. I kind of got here and laid down the law as far as the first guy that's going to try to screw this up, I'm going to get rid of you. And for those guys to buy into that and stay, for Kwiatkowski and Heldman and Dakota Cochran and Caleb Span, for those guys to have stayed through two different portals, I mean, one of those guys leaves, it's like the bottom Jenga row comes out and the whole thing falls apart. So that entire senior class, all the veterans that have stayed, like Tommy McIntosh and Langston Lewis, and then all the guys that we recruited who took a leap of faith that, I've never been a head coach at this level before. So, and they, our whole staff is, relatively green in this area. So I cannot put into words how happy I am for these guys to be rewarded for all their hard work, all their commitment and discipline. In the world of very transactional, when everybody's trying to leave, these guys stayed at Central because they love this place. They're committed to each other. They love the people, and they have a great experience here. So I just, and our fans, you're starting to see all the fans come back into this place and the alumni. And I just checked my phone. There's 1 billion texts on there from everybody. I mean, it's so nice to see this community. I mean, you look up there, and it was like championships in 7, 8, 9, 10, just over and over and over. And it's just really, really neat to get football really exciting around for this community and the campus.
Defense kind of got put in the spot kind of right away. When Joe throws that interception, through them creating 5 takeaways, 2 scores. I think it's kind of easy to forget they had 10 yards to defend on.
Two different times.
So
two different times. Yeah,
kind of their ability to get put in that spot and not just hold with them. I mean, the scoop and score later on.
It was tough. I'll be honest with you. Emotionally, you got to still remember, every one of these games we're in, still kind of the first one of these. We're playing a really good team where it all matters. Today when the game got over, one of us was going to be bowl eligible and one of us was going to be in third place in the conference. So that was going to happen for one of the two teams. So that's a big game. That's a pressure situation. So we really put a big emphasis to have some fun during the game. You can't be tight. This is what you play these games for, is it your whole life. So defensively, we come out the first series of the game, and like I said, with Angel Flores being out, you got to kind of cater to what your guys do well. So we came out throwing it a little bit more, and that we just had an unfortunate deal where 2 guys kind of clipped feet, and we fell down and threw a pick, and were able to immediately start fast. And really, our team, for whatever reason, we really start playing better after something terrible happens to us. And for it to happen right away, and it only cost us 3 points, and it was basically you're just starting out down 3-0 with a little bit of smelling salts now. And those guys just responded. And I don't know what the total tackles for loss, sacks, hurries, turnovers. I mean, it was an unbelievably dominant performance by those guys.
Coach, on defense, you were moving the defensive line around a lot. Had a little bit of almost like a CFL look there, kind of. haven't seen that from you guys. Maybe you've done it. I don't remember you doing it. Is that something that you saw at Buffalo, that you could create a little confusion up front or do something? And how much of that kind of look led to 5 turnovers today, and the TFLs and the hurries?
Starting on where I've seen it, unfortunately, I have been blocking that for 6 years since Nate Woody and Sean Cronin have been together at Army. We saw that in practice all the time, and it's kind of been one of those packages that Sean Cronin really has been able to evolve since he's been here. So we run that a lot in practice, and it's kind of like, all right, well, when do you need to break it out, and who are you going to go use it against? But yeah, I mean, for us to be able to change personnel so much, Coach Fleming does a great job in the box of being our personnel key and rolling through that. So what it allows us to do is to be very, very multiple on defense. So it's really hard to get a beat on it. And then when you have those, the term everybody uses, like radar defense, where no one puts their hand on the ground. Well, it's all new. The personnel are in different spots. So it's not like, okay, well, the DN might not actually be playing defensive end. So it creates a lot of communication problems from a protection standpoint if you have not seen it very often. And again, those guys, you look at the senior group that's up there with Heldman and Kwiatkowski and Levi Brown and Dakota Cochran, like those guys understand. They're savvy, really, really intelligent players, man. They do such a good job of disguising things, creating problems, and manufacturing pressure. And it's very, very confusing to protect, to read. And I think that absolutely contributed. The fact that we're able to go in and out and use that in certain situations, that was a big deal. Big deal, excuse me.
Coach, second week with Marcus Beeman kind of in the lineup. How do you think he's adjusting to the larger role he has of right now, and how do you see that kind of playing out the rest of the season?
He's done an unbelievable job, and he did the same thing again today. Like, came over and was able to get us like, hey, we're doing this with this Roshan adjustment. Like, he's like having an extra coach out there. He does a great job, and for what we needed him to do, normally he does a tremendous job. What Buffalo did to us was really like an NFL-looking 4-4 defense, where it was like 8 guys basically packed in the box between the C gaps with a low single high safety. So you can try to run the ball against that 1,000 times, but you're really beating your head against the wall. So we didn't have to use him quite as much as we needed to today, but he just does such a great job in every phase. And even when he's in, he is coaching and helping us win. But he continues to do a great job, and to play like that in a big game like that was very impressive.
You actually,
Coach Yin.
when you think of a game where you've been outgained, but like we're so ahead on the scoreboard and so in control, like Buffalo's moving the ball, but it just seemed like they might hit a chunk, and then you guys got a takeaway. Like the down to down, like they were kind of moved. Like I'm just kind of like the feel from the sideline. You're putting them shoving them in a locker, so to speak, metaphorically, but it's not like when you look at the stat sheet, it's like, oh, Buffalo did okay. Like, how do you kind of?
Some of them were explosives. You know what I mean? A couple chunk play. I mean, really, when we missed the tackle on the bubble throw that they housed, that was a big explosive play, and then they hit another power read 41 running down our sideline. But our offense, Coach Chapin and I were talking at the beginning of the season, like, we're really kind of like a North Dakota State-looking operation. We're about 320 yards to 355 yards. Right in that window is like the sweet spot, and if you can try to be balanced, you're just hard to defend, and you're slowing the game down a little bit. I was a little bit frustrated. Obviously, like I said, where you felt a big lull in the game was drives 3, 4, 5, and 6. We went 3 and out all in a row, which is very difficult because we were going 3 and out on offense, and they were killing it on defense. But that was at the same time where Coach Lembo and his team just kept pinning us down inside the 5-yard line. So at that point in time, when you're protecting it was like a 7-3 lead at the time. You don't want to just turn the ball over and be over-aggressive, especially when your defense is playing like that. So really what we talked about it in the fourth quarter, the sequence of plays that really flipped the game for us there were 2 parts of it. One was in the second quarter when we were able to kind of grind it and then punt it out to midfield and then get a stop. And then normally we used a sequencing down where the analytics told us it was a go number, but I elected to punt because it was our only chance in the whole quarter to punt it and then flip the field all the way down there. So as soon as we did that, it was like, oh my God, we survived that huge tight, like a tsunami of field position. And then obviously when we turn the ball over deep on our own territory, and then immediately Dakota Cochran comes back with an unbelievable play and scoop and score, and JK's blocking down there for him. it was awesome. And, it's one of those deals like we need to execute a little bit better, but the defense came through and bailed out, and you can be a little bit more aggressive and take risks in those situations when the defense is playing that well. So all three phases had to compete for us to win.
Coach, really early in the second quarter, it seemed like there was kind of a little bit of miscues in terms of getting guys on and off the field and subbing. There was a timeout, and then the following
Third quarter,
play,
start of the third quarter.
Yes.
Yes, there was.
And then there was a series where you had 10 guys on the field, I believe, and there was a timeout called. And after that, though, it seemed like you guys had you guys started dealing with the tempo a lot better. What did you see in that timeout that kind of let you guys?
Well, nothing. We didn't see anything. We didn't have enough people on the field. So we're a heavy analytics team, obviously. Well, so is Coach Lembo is a big analytics guy as well. So the most valuable commodity you have are timeouts. And we were forced because of a personnel switch error. We were trying to get into dime, and for whatever reason, the right people didn't go in the game, and we needed to burn a timeout in the first minute. And I ended up getting on the headset and having to apologize later because I didn't react very well to that, because that was a coaching error. And when you do something as a coach that puts the players in a bad position, I mean, it can't happen. That can't ever happen. That is never acceptable. So they were able, and they picked up a big first down on that. It was a third down. So and then luckily a couple plays later, I think we got a turnover. So it was a good deal for us to jump back on. We didn't get anything accomplished in the timeout other than not get burned on that play or be in a bad situation. But then we were able to kind of calm down, go to the iPads and get it fixed. And Coach Cronin again addressed it. And I need to do a better job in those situations as a leader and as a manager, because those guys are trying their best and they're doing right. But at the same time, that can't happen ever. So Coach Cronin and those guys got it all fixed right away, and we're ready to roll.
And then with the results tonight, both in this game and also in the conference, you guys jump up to second place in the conference, obviously tied with a bunch of teams. But how do you kind of keep your team in the driver's seat through the rest of the season, where now more than ever, every game counts?
Yeah, I mean, this league is insane. I mean, I watched those games yesterday, and I was like, oh, I think I know what's going to happen. Then everything opposite of that happened. So I have no idea other than keep doing exactly what we're doing. I told them in the locker room afterwards, go celebrate and have a good time. And they did for about 4 seconds, and then JK kind of settled everybody down, and he's like, listen, we got a game. It's a road game. It's going to be really, really tough because Kent State is playing unbelievable right now. And kind of got everybody's jaw reset, and it's like, all right, we're back to work tomorrow. So that's just kind of how we do business here. And I'm just looking down. I said 355. We finished with 358 today. Bryce is right rules. That's also a very good guess. So
anything else for Coach? I got one more.
It seems like I remember 2-3 weeks ago, I think it was after Bowling Green, you said, defensive front played really well. I remember you said Michael Heldman, saying he's an NFL player, and I don't think he's changed that prognosis. Do you think the front seven is kind of peaking at the right time, and do you think kind of with that radar look and what kind of Coach Cronin's really it's all just coming together, they really are kind of now?
You go look at the numbers. These guys do this about every week. I mean, last month 5-6 weeks or whatever it is, that our defense is playing as good a football as you can possibly play in college football today. I mean, and it is. It's not just the front seven. It's just the whole defense. And you go look at it, it's all the seniors. I mean, these guys, they are obviously, you can watch the tape, they're very talented. They are they are the smartest group of kids. They are so mentally tough. They're uber competitive, and they are the most resilient group, dude. They're fun to be around. And to be honest with you, it's very hard as a coach and as a staff to the standard that our players set. It is hard to keep up with them all of the time to make sure that you're giving them the best possible experience and chance to win. So, I mean, as long as they keep driving the whole show, we will do everything we can to keep up with them and support them. But it's over and over and over again. They're fun to be around. They're fun to be at practice with. They handle all their those kids were in classes all day today. We missed a lot. Guys missed team meetings yesterday because they had 5 p.m. class. We go to classes here. You know what I mean? It's insane. On game, you know what I mean? This action. It's a whole weird thing. And for those guys, I have no experience doing that. So I told them, we got to rely on you guys this week to help us understand and function. And with all the distractions, look at the product that those guys put out on the field. It is it's hard to put into words, dude. It's just humbling to be around those guys.
Okay.
Thank you guys for
Thanks,
everything.
Coach.
Appreciate you guys.